All right, folks, let's get this show started. What do you say about that? Yeah! Woo. Woo. Damn. There are a lot of people in here tonight. That's great. That's awesome. But I hate to break it to you guys. Now's the time that we have to stop talking. Oh. Or we could forget about the presentations and just hang out. That's easy to do. So, hey, all you dudes in the back, dudes and dudettes, there are a couple empty seats right up in here. Come and grab them. What we're going to do is we're going to send the bartender in the back away to ease the temptation to chatter by the bar. It's a good trick in the event business. But if you want a cocktail, we have an open bar, a bar that's open around the corner. So there's a little side room there if you haven't explored yet. You can go in there and get a cocktail. All right, so we have an incredible night tonight, guys. It's going to be a long one, so I encourage us to get started like now. Is this thing on? Hello. Hello, hello. So folks, hey, all you first timers, shut up. Yeah. All right. Come on. You guys paid good money to hear good stuff up here, right? All right. Yeah. So, okay, it's a super busy week in tech. Yeah. Who here's getting a new iPhone next week, 2 weeks? Why? Good question. Valid. A lot of events in town going on. There's a CloudBeat. Anybody go to CloudBeat tonight? Today? Yeah? A little thing called TC Disrupt? Yeah? I heard there were a bunch of crickets over there today. That's what I heard. But no, there's a lot of things going on, so we're honored that you guys chose to spend some time with us here tonight. But here, yeah. Woo. That's right. Okay, so you guys in the back, the three people, you guys talking right there, looking right at you. Hey, yeah, tap them on the shoulder and say, yo, dude, take your conversation elsewhere. So this once we get everybody settled, and I think this is happening now, this is the part of the night where we have to give our utmost undivided attention to the folks on stage. And I know you might want to continue your conversations. That's awesome, because you probably met somebody really great. If you want to talk, take it outside, totally cool. Take it in the side room, totally cool. But not in the main room, okay? Please, out of respect for these guys that are going to be sweating it out for you all tonight. Yeah, so I do this all the time. So by show of hands, I can't see. Show of hands, who's here for the very first time? Yeah, cool. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome. For those who have been here for a while, we've been doing this 7.5 years now. It's kind of a freight train, but it's great. And it's our pleasure to introduce some awesome ideas and startups and what they're working on to you guys. And we'll get to this in a second, but we're going to introduce something that we built proprietarily for SF New Tech to actually create more of a bond and more of a connection between the presenters here tonight and you guys. And stay tuned for that. Do we want to talk about that now? No, in a minute. Let's get our sponsor announcements out of the way. We couldn't do this without our sponsors, and we love them dearly. So bear with us. Don't consider it an ad. Just consider it, you're learning something new about some corporate going-ons. I didn't talk to you guys about who's going to go first, but we're going to welcome up quickly AT&T, who have been a great supporter of SF New Tech for a long time. And if you haven't checked out the table in the back, there's a lot of good things over there. Talking about connected devices and how AT&T is really moving forward with making sure that the Internet of Things and then beyond the Internet of Things is actually something that can be part of your life. And also, if you didn't drop a card in the bucket that's right there, Jake, you want to hold it up? We're going to give away 2 sets of tickets to a Giants game. Yeah? So if you didn't drop your card, you're out of luck. There are only 3 cards in there. You better run. No. But I want to introduce you all quickly to Marc Blakeman, who does wonderful things at AT&T. What's up? What's up with AT&T?
Great. Whoa. Hey, that was loud. Hey, my name is Marc Blakeman. I'm the Vice President of External Affairs for AT&T here in San Francisco. This is our 3rd year, I believe, of supporting SF New Tech. We're really happy with the partnership and the great ideas that get floated here at your gatherings here almost monthly. Wanted to give you a quick update on some things going on at AT&T. We are in the process of upgrading our wireless network, which I know makes a lot of people happy. In the last 3 years, we've invested $2.4 billion in the Bay Area. And in San Francisco alone, that includes over 800 new additions to our wireless network, including 44 new cell towers, about 700 adding radio carriers, and also bringing fiber to all of our cell sites. And I hope that you all know that we launched LTE as well in the last 18 months here, which we're really happy about. Also, we have a great campaign. I hope you all get your sticker and take the pledge, no texting while driving. We're really happy that the rest of the industry joined with AT&T this year in this campaign. We have September 19th as our pledge day coming up, and I encourage you to tweet and spread the word and let people know about it. It's really important. Nothing is more too important that I can't wait until you get to a safe place to answer a text. So just want to, without any, you don't want to hear from me, but I wanted to just thank you all for coming tonight. And if you have any questions, we got a lot of AT&T folks in the room tonight. If you want to stop us later, we're happy to answer any questions you have. Great, thanks, Myles.
Awesome, thank you, Marc. Yeah, so there are a lot of AT&T guys in the room. Definitely go up and engage, and do not bitch to them. They're not going to fix your problems. But they're good guys. Definitely go visit. Before I welcome up Lisa from Outlook, I want to make just a couple of admin notes, because might as well. We encourage you to tweet early and often. Use the hashtag SFNT. And doing so, you can maybe find yourself on the big screen tonight. It's a nice back channel. It's like a roulette wheel that spins around and chooses the same one every time sometimes. I don't know why. Notice that tonight, actually. That's a bug. And we are streaming the event live tonight, so maybe your first tweet can be to invite your friends in the room with us. They just have to visit sfnewtech.com. And our streaming is brought to us by Jimmy over here at Jimmy TV, or Q there. Jimmy's got an awesome studio just a block and a half from Moscone, so if you need a green screen and high-end production with a TriCaster and then some, with a great team and an awesome producer, talk to Jimmy. He's right here. Okay. Okay, so that's it for the quick announcements. Now, Lisa, come on up here. S'il vous plaît. So we're thrilled to death to announce again that Outlook is back to support SF New Tech into the future, or at least the next 10 events or so. But from what I understand, it might be more than Outlook also, and we can touch on that in a second. But Lisa's in town. She's actually a San Francisco native, yeah, who lives in Seattle. No. It's cool in Seattle. I like Seattle. That wasn't a joke. No, it's cool. But yeah, San Francisco's awesome. So she's here tonight to tell us a little bit more about Outlook, and is going to provide a couple of tips for you, yeah, and then some. Cool.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to be, sorry, that was really loud. I'm very excited to be here today. I just started this new role. I'm a product marketing manager for Windows Consumer Apps and Services. My name is Lisa Abdulova. You can scope out more about me at about.me/Abdulisa or on my Twitter, Abdulisa. I am starting this new goal. For this next year, we are going out and investing in tech communities just like yours here in Silicon Valley and San Francisco. We will be sponsoring 300 of the most popular meetups around the world and trying to introduce them to what we found to be our hero first-party Windows 8 apps. And that's Outlook.com, SkyDrive, and IE. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking. You might be a little bit skeptical. And before I cover all of that, I don't want to be advertising to you or to marketing or to be, marketing to you up here. What I want to be doing is to help you be a more productive emailer. And I was a very active Gmail user. I mean, I'm from San Francisco. I graduated from Stanford. I was a marketing manager for a mobile payment startup in Silicon Valley. Most of my friends are in the startup scene here, and I know what you guys are thinking. And I'm telling you right here that at Microsoft and at Outlook.com, I have become a better emailer. And I will share 5 tips that I have found have helped me do that. So one of them is, so at Microsoft, as you can imagine, we email a lot. And it's funny to talk to my friends who are at startups here who, they're working on small teams that they don't ever email at all. Whereas I'll send at least on average 50 a day. And I don't even want to think about how many I receive. But I remember when I was first starting out that I would get really caught up about writing an email. Like I felt like I needed to roll up my sleeves and sit down and write one, and I would almost feel slighted when someone would send me an email instead of personally reaching out to me. But the more that I emailed, the more that I realized that, people email all the time, and it's really just another medium to communicate with another person. And it's the same as Facebook messaging, it's the same as chatting, it's the same as IMing. It's just you trying to get your message across to someone else. And so it's important to be able to not get so caught up in it being an email and just to get it across and send it, use it like any other medium. 2, I realized that, and I'm going to go a lot faster here. 2, I realized that it's, over email, you have a lot less to work with. So when you're in person or when you're over the phone, you have a lot more visual cues. Whereas on email, all you really have to work with is your words. And so when you get caught up in, I'm writing an email here, and you try to, or I would try to sound very professional and formal, and, I'm being important here and reaching out to you, sometimes your message can get lost. And so when you only have words to use, just say what you think, get your point across, don't let it get lost. The 3rd piece is that the best types of email conversations are the ones that feel like conversations. So it's great when you reply back to something the same way that you would if you imagine that email that you got back was someone had told you that same story in person. So it's the idea of that I would feel like I would need to respond back and kind of spend the first paragraph reiterating what they said, and then saying whatever else. Whereas if you just write back exactly what your gut reaction is to whatever they're saying, then you can not only get that email out faster, but you can also connect better and have that conversation going a lot smoother. Now, the 4th one, I'll say that, sorry, I might have lost track there. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm seeing some skeptic faces out in the audience. Kind of a rough start to my first SF New Tech meetup, and so I'll take this opportunity to pause right here. We were having a discussion out in the crowd, and someone was wondering, how many people in this room have ever had a Hotmail account? Wow, that's a lot of hands, you guys. Does everyone see that? Does the Outlook.com team see that? So do the people that had their hands up still in there, you guys are still using email, right? And is your email stressing you out at all? Yes? Well, guess what? We've got some Outlook.com stress cubes for you. Check that out. And a t-shirt over here. Okay. Oh no, we have a whole pyramid over there just for you. Okay, so another tip, this is probably the most useful one for me, is how critical it is to just acknowledge emails that come in. So even if all you're saying is just got it or smiley face, I send a lot of smiley faces, if we email in the future, you'll see. Or even just saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this later. It might be something that's just you're thinking about right now, but you get that off your chest. You're connecting with the person that you're talking to. You're letting them know that you heard what they're saying and that you're going to keep it going. So 5 tips. One is to, what I said, acknowledge emails that come in. Don't be afraid of emails. Just use them. Use them often like any other type of medium. 3, say what you think. Don't get lost in those words. 4, use the email thread as a way to communicate and have a real conversation. Now, we talked about, so Gmail has done some research on the different types of emailers out there. And I'm getting this look like I need to finish up and wrap up quickly. So Gmail shows that there's a bunch of different types of emailers out there. And that's everything from the people who like to delete everything, or they like to categorize everything, or they like to label everything, or they want to have they really desire to have an inbox 0. And I realized that I'm actually a little bit of all of those things. And what I would actually really like to do is just be more personally productive. And ever since I've tried Outlook.com, I really feel like Outlook.com has the features in it to help me do that. And that's everything from Sweep and a million others that I hope you guys will get the chance to try out if you can meet Outlook.com at the table behind you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Also, the bonus of this too, if you choose to engage with Outlook and you have a feature suggestion or whatnot, or think they might be able to do something better, talk to the guys in the back, because they're the ones that are building the product, and they actually take your advice and they bring it back to headquarters and they make it happen. And that's one of the reasons you guys are here. Yeah. So big thanks to Lisa and Outlook for their support. Okay, so. Geez, you see this program here? It's wild. We have a conversation with Brian Solis about his new book. We have a new feature that we're trying to introduce called SFNT Hack, which is doing something totally awesome, totally random. And Antony Brydon is going to be telling us a little magic that he created and how to raise around using AngelList. And then we're going to get into our demos. And then we're going to do something awesome, is to launch something here at SF New Tech that is our very own little something that we feel is going to bring more value to everybody here in the room, and that's our job. So with that, I want to introduce Manuel Acevedo, who you may or may not remember. Zip your fly, dude. Manuel. Yes.
Thank you.
So real quick, you
woke up everyone.
No, that's good. We're gonna do that again later. See, no. You may or may not remember Manuel. He was on our stage a couple of months ago introducing us to Town10.com, which is a great competitor to Yelp. So Manuel raised his hand to team up and help us build this. So he is the CTO behind what we're calling now SFNT Invest. We'll see if that sticks. So just a quick introduction to what it is that we're doing. And I hope you guys like this. I think you will.
Thank you, Myles. I'll do it really short. So actually, we're working with Myles because this is a great event. As you know, the formula is that there are a couple of demos during the night and a question and answers. And now, today, we're adding an additional feature to the SF New Tech family, which is a little game. Actually, we have built a web app that we will share with you, where during the night you can vote for your favorite demos. We're actually giving away to each one of you $1 million. So now you're all millionaires. And you can decide where do you want to put your $1 million, on which company, or what's the distribution of the money. And that's a way for us to know what are the demos that you like most. And by the end of the night, you have a chance to meet with the founder and be part of the board of that startup. Our objective is to create a more interactive event so that the innovators in the crowd are not only listening, but also taking action, voting, and getting related with these startups. So actually, the next step is that you will receive an email that Myles has already sent. It will arrive in a couple of minutes, giving you instructions if you want to participate in tonight's game. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, so expect an email coming from me. If you registered for the event on Eventbrite, we're sending you an email. Go ahead and log in. If you do not receive that email, or if you just walked in the door or didn't register or whatnot, you came with you're a guest of somebody, simply visit sfntinvest.com. Anybody, Manuel, did that email go out? Yeah? Okay, so when it arrives, somebody chirp up when you get that email, so just so we know. Yeah, you have to sign in at Outlook.com to get your email from SF New Tech. No. You never know. No, not yet. Okay, so let's welcome Mr. Solis to the stage. Brian, who I've known for a good number of years, is one of my heroes, and I'm sure some of yours as well. He used to support our little thing when we were just like 40 people, like drinking beers and eating pizza and talking technology back in the early days at CNET. And now he's like king of the hill or something, Sandhill, I don't know. You can't keep track of him. He's in London, he's in Paris, he's in Redwood City, he's here sometimes. But without further ado, Brian, come on up. Yeah. Lisa, is this your iPhone?
Zipper's up, Myles.
Your zipper's up?
I'm ready.
Okay, the night's not over. Brian, this is part of our book series, which is something we're playing around with. It's just like bringing smart people up here to teach us something. So Brian wrote a book called What's the Future of Business? And it's become a must-read in the tech community. And it's only because Brian has credibility in what he does. He has a credible voice. He works with some amazing people and has some amazing insights. And what I love about Bryan is that he understands how things happen from the bottom up more than like 99% of the people out there on how to actually connect the things that you're working on with people that might become passionate to actually make that happen. And that's just a little bit, yeah?
I got to take you with me everywhere I go.
How does that sound?
Yeah.
First of all, why would anybody in technology be buying a business book in today's day and age? Is that fair?
Yeah, so a softball is how you want to start. Okay.
I'm going to turn the timer on while you go.
All right. Well, for those who don't know me, I have actually helped advise in one way, shape, or form, or invest in or start at least 1,000 startups in my day. And I have worked with Myles going, about 7 years at least, in helping San Francisco New Tech get off the ground, although it didn't really need my help. But I got to tell you, though, I supported it for as long as I could until I just wasn't around, because I was always inspired by the startups and the entrepreneurialism, and it helped sort of inspire me into what I felt, not just what technology could enable, but also what innovation could unlock. And innovation, for those who maybe don't play this game in Silicon Valley, doesn't always have to do with technology, right? It has a lot to do with empathy and vision and passion, and then technology becomes a conduit or an enabler for that vision. So why a book in this new day and age of everything being electronic? I was inspired also by the fact that our kids still get big textbooks in school, whether it's in elementary school or university, and there's just no way that the way that their brains work can process a book like that. And I thought that if you could reinvent the way that a book unfolds, if you could reinvent the way that the purpose of a book or the role a book plays in someone's life, that you could actually reinvent everything, not just books, but just the entire way that you approach a traditional mindset. So for all of those who understand the concept of the innovator's dilemma, if you flip that and you play on the dilemma's innovator, you find a whole new way to solve something. And for me, the dilemma was, how do you get kids to pay attention in the absence of having instructors or teachers or academics that see a clear path to the future? So I studied UI, UX design, and actually took those principles for how you and I use apps, how you and I read online or blogs, or how you and I, what makes it share, what makes us share something, and applied that to a book with a UI, nav, visualization, and the whole concept of the book was reinvented, that I told everybody, don't buy this book electronically, buy it in print, because I bet you it's going to make you learn more than you would if you were thumbing through a digital copy. And all studies, I'm always studying, have shown that it is working, right? So now I'm taking all those findings and giving it back to the academic community so that they can use these frameworks to redesign textbooks. So that's why I would write a book about business in the day and age of technology, because it had to be reinvented. And the whole process now shows that if you can do that for a book, you can do that for anything.
That's awesome. So in, I don't know, what would you say? Really, dude? That sucks. No. So in your research, I mean, you work with Altimeter, and you have at your fingertips, at your disposal, like a lot of research and a lot of data. Are there any like particular gems? I'm just looking at the clock, so we have a minute and a half to kind of like maybe shed some light on something that maybe can make somebody like really inspired tonight, or not. But then after that clock runs out, then the floor belongs to you guys, and we'll take questions for Brian too. So, is there any like, not to like spoil the book or anything, but in your trials and tribulations of writing, what was that moment you're like, that's in the book?
Oh, all right. So the book is called What's the Future of Business? And it's a play on words where I actually really wanted to find a way to put WTF on the cover of a business book. And I did, by the way. And you try telling a publisher, we're going to reinvent a book, and by the way, I need you to rethink the shape and size and full color and all that stuff. And I also want to put WTF. They had more problem with that than redesigning the book. But the takeaway is this. For any entrepreneur, for any business owner, for any investor, it breaks down who you're trying to reach, your user, your customer, your consumer, into 4 moments of truth, and how they make decisions in a connected era. How you make decisions, how I make decisions, and it breaks it down into simple 4 moments of truth. Now you can get in front of it and steer their experience into ways that are favorable for you before, during, and after a transaction. So that's the aha. And little surprises is that some way, shape, or form in the next several minutes, we're going to hand out a few of them to some of you.
Yeah, in like 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Cool. Okay, so just keeping with the format, so we have a 5-minute chat. I wish it could be longer, but let's open it up to the room. So those of you with good questions might walk away with a signed copy of What's the Future of Business. So anybody have something for Brian? Let's put him on the spot. Tell me it looks nice. And don't be shy, right? There are 200 plus people in the room. So now's your time to raise your hand high. Yes.
Right
Okay.
behind you, Myles.
You basically said that the vision is what leads to these great companies. What about the example or metaphor of the second mouse getting the cheese?
Okay, so for those who didn't read that article, I opened up an article recently that said, you've probably heard the saying that the early bird gets the worm, but it's always the second mouse that gets the cheese. And the reason for that was, 1, to get you thinking, 2, to challenge me, and thank you, and 3, also to think about, sometimes vision doesn't necessarily mean first. Sometimes vision means seeing something through beyond just the introduction of what that product or that solution or what that app is. And I can tell you that one of the most common entrepreneurial traps that I have to face with in working with a lot of startups is that they think that the idea is good enough. And often here in Silicon Valley it is. I mean, it's enough to get funded at least. But in order to be successful, it takes getting someone to see things the way that you can't communicate it. And I know that sounds weird, but let me give you an example. If I were a marriage counselor, I would tell you this, or a relationship counselor. There's what you say, and there's what someone else hears. And somewhere in the middle of that is how you get the other person to meet you halfway with what you were trying to say. And that's the entrepreneurial trap, is your vision, your value proposition has to go to the ears of someone else to mean something in a way that you intended, but ultimately what is going to allow them to take your product and be successful. That's the trap that most folks miss. It's not just enough for the idea, it's about not the applicability of it, but what someone would tell someone else about why it is such a great idea. And that's where I think the second mouse comes into play. All right, so 3 minutes, 2 more questions.
So Brian, I'm in the back here. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a hardball question. Right. You mentioned that you've advised 1,000 or more companies. I brought this up earlier. Give the audience a reason why they should listen to you, and talk about some of the highlights of your 2 or 3 best experiences and how they were successful and what was different about them and how what kind of impact you had in their success.
Yeah, one of the things about hustling here in Silicon Valley is that I lived through Web 1.0 when there was nothing but rooftop parties before there were taco trucks at meetups. We used to do it with champagne back then. And I actually took all of those learnings and just studied it. Why did everybody fail? And I swore that if the web would come around again, that I would give everything I learned away. And I did for the most part. When Web 2 started to come back, I felt that there was this element of sales and marketing and just discipline that entrepreneurs were going to need in order to not just build out their products, but sell it out to customers and referrals and what have you, and monetize it. So of those 1,000, right, most of them wanted to be either acquired or to go profitability or to IPO. And it was nice because back in that day, I used to be able to select who I wanted to work with. And even then, it wasn't always guaranteed. I even started a company and sold it, a company called BuzzGain with Mukund Mohan. And I still have to work, so it wasn't a great exit. But the one thing that every single one of those companies, I think that benefited from my work with them, was that I could give a shit about how amazing they thought they were, because they all were driven by ego and passion and perseverance. What I really cared about was what they were trying to do with it. So there's an image that I have for those who have read the book, that the best businesses begin with empathy. And it comes back to that dilemma's innovator. It means that you understand emotionally what you're trying to do or what you're trying to impact, and that your passion is fueled by helping someone do something they couldn't do before today. It's one of the reasons why I think Uber, for example, is one of my favorite apps, because I've never met anybody that says, you know what, that taxi cab that I took yesterday in New York City was the best thing that's ever happened in my life. It's horrible. And they didn't just build an app that allowed you to get in the car. They built an app that connected you with people who wanted to do better. It's an entire platform. It's global. It's completely thoughtful. That's thinking about the pains and aspirations and potential of the people that you're trying to impact, whether it's enterprise, whether it's business, whether it's just the everyday consumer, whether it's moms, dads, what have you. So I'm driven by that, and that's how I helped every one of those companies. And I got rooted in there. I dug deep with each and every one of them, and I did that. The one company I used for advising startups, I did that for almost 13 years. I started in February of '99 before I joined Altimeter Group. And one more, and I'll make it a quick answer.
Yeah, a quick one, because we're officially out of time.
Well, this one's sponsored by Outlook.
You said that you want to change the experience of reading a book. It's different. Can you elaborate on that? How is it going to unfold differently than any other book?
Myles, we have one more? Yeah, there you go. But for everybody else, I'll answer it. So this is my 7th book, and I had to change how I write in order to really connect with a connected consumer, someone who's always drifting, someone who's always has a stream or an app or a screen near them. My books have been 400 pages normally, but I had to rethink how I write a sentence, in 140 characters that's still impactful, that somebody would want to share. How do you take a paragraph that would have been text and how do you visualize it? And how do you say things in forms that you want to read on Twitter or Facebook or Google+? When you have to rethink how you communicate and how you would then present that information, it's actually inspiring. And I got to tell you, it's very freeing. It's also very difficult. This is the longest book I've ever had to write. But you learn perspective in the process, and gaining perspective outside of your viewpoint, I think, is one of the greatest advantages you can have in anything you do. So enjoy. You'll notice the UX right out of the front. It's the beginning of every chapter. And for those who haven't seen it, if you go to scribd.com/Brian Solis, the first 3 chapters are there for free, so you can see what I'm talking about. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian. Definitely go give it a read and go shake this man's hand if you have an opportunity, because I don't know if he can be here all night long. It's an honor, Brian. Thank you. Okay, how are you guys doing? Yeah? Okay. Let's call up Antony Brydon. Antony, you may remember, was up on the stage a couple of months back, or last year, April, showing us all about Directly.com, which is an awesome site to check out. But tonight, he's going to shed a little light on a little something that he and his colleagues figured out on how to more easily and more efficiently and effectively raise money than is previously subscribed to. So consider it a disruption on how to raise around for your startup. Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Antony.
So we were here in April and coming out for the first time and talking a little bit about our technology. We kicked off our fundraising. We closed it in July, and it was the only fundraising I've done in the last 10 years in 10 different rounds that was fun. Everything prior to this last raise that we did for 4 different ventures has always been an arduous effort. And we did some very different things in this fundraising that we called inbound fundraising that I wanted to share back with the group as a contribution to the community in the hopes that everybody here who's thinking about fundraising can find little tweaks and little hacks to make it easier. So the net of it is that we were focused on driving what we called a inbound fundraising. And in our history, all the fundraising that we'd ever been doing since 1998, again through 4 different companies, had been outbound. Chasing investors one at a time, networking to meetings, sitting down, effectively pushing a rock in many cases uphill. When I dug into the statistics of what those outbound fundraisings look like, the numbers that came back were 1 in 300. So 1 in 300 pitches to an investor in an outbound fundraising results in an investment. Now, when I went back over 12 years of data and looked at our own history, we found that we had, over time, closed about 1 in 30 of investors that we had done outbound pitches of. But in the tweaks and the hacks that we did in these last 3 months, we were able to increase our close rate to 1 in 3, closing 37% of investors. This one is dead? Great. And that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about, that one in 3. So for us, the key word is inbound. And I want to contrast that with outbound fundraising. When I say inbound fundraising, what I'm fundamentally talking about is using some of the new investor communities that have come up, like AngelList, and using a lot of the tools that we typically use in a sales process, like ClearSlide and Marketo and HubSpot, to treat the investment process exactly like the sales process. And when I talk about inbound fundraising in an image, it's about a process where the investors are coming to you, as opposed to you as an entrepreneur running all over the world, running all over Silicon Valley, chasing the investors. So this outbound process for us started with working extensively with the investor communities and then treating the fundraising process exactly like a sales funnel. In 3 stages, working hard to drive demand, maximizing and tracking our engagement, and then working to commit and close. So I wanted to share a little bit of this data, but I also wanted to show a little bit of screenshots on what those meant. So I wanted to start with the demand driving side. Now, I won't spend a lot of time talking about AngelList or Funders Club or any of the communities. There's a lot of good essentially worksheets out there on how to maximize those. But I will say that one of the things that's fundamentally different in an inbound raise is the effort you put into driving awareness and driving demand. Now that had 2 components for us. That had one component, SF New Tech in April, and a number of these speaking circuits designed to kind of garner interest in the company. And then the second component it had was an outreach component on AngelList. We spent the first 2 or 3 weeks of the raise essentially reaching out to over 300 individuals with personal notes to drive the follower count and drive the comments on this and ultimately drive inbound introductions. So what I'll also draw your attention to on the bottom is another hack that we did, which was to put the deck and the demo into ClearSlide. And what that meant was anybody who was logging in an AngelList to look at these materials had to enter in contact information. So in this case, I'll enter Myles information. Oh. So there I'm into the deck, and we've captured that investor information. The initial deck that we posted was a teaser deck, which I'll page through quickly. The entire point of the deck was to tease about a new product that we were introducing, and then to encourage the investors to reach out and actually request an introduction.
Antony, I
yes,
don't mean
sir.
to interrupt. Your first 5 minutes are up. I'm going to restart it. We'll go into our Q&A time.
Okay, got it. So I'll finish it out quickly. The net result of it was we also tied together a little bit of the technology, which you can see here. We used ClearSlide to give us alerts. If I scroll in on this, what you'll see is what is coming in through ClearSlide is in real time a list of every investor that's looking at that deck at any given moment in time. And we were able to take these kind of alerts, and here's one that's just come in, and marry it with Reportive, which is over here on the right, and you can't quite see yet. But what Reportive did was tell us exactly who was looking at the deck at any given time. So the net was we were getting alerts on our mobile phones, we were getting alerts on our emails. In most cases, we could reach out to the investor while they were looking at the deck and actually engage with them, call them, and go through the details of the deck. So just flipping back to that end of the demo, we got 600 followers. It drove 150 introduction requests. We accepted 97 of those introductions from qualified investors, and because we were able to reach out in real time with these stats, we moved that to 50 reservations and 40 commitments. And the last thing that we did in the commit and close phase was manage it maniacally like a sales funnel. So in the end, we were able to close of our $2 million round. You know, some of it came from the institutions that you know well, True, Crunch Fund, Toba Capital, but we were able to close about $700K from a set of senior executives from the companies on the right by maniacally closing this last, you know, treating it as a sales funnel and looking to optimize the yield at the end. I'll stop there.
Wow. Clever, clever, clever. There should be a law against that. No. Hands up. Who wants to do this?
Hi, thanks very much. Just a quick one. You showed a deck that's online. How did you drive investors to that deck? And then How much of a difference do you think it made for you to actively follow up on the investors after they had viewed it?
So we folded pretty much all of our efforts, even the classical outbound efforts, into this inbound marketing, which meant even when we were having one-off conversations with an investor, like a crunch fund, we would steer them to AngelList, in this case, to the deck. I think it made all the difference. And the contrast that I would suggest is one investor at a PowerPoint looking at a desk, on his or her own, versus driving them to one of these communities where they're not only seeing the deck, but they're seeing a raft of comments and activity around it. We were really focused. We put 100% of our effort into driving that momentum, and it made a large difference in our estimation.
Hi.
Great.
In the back here, just a quick question. You already closed the first 1.2 from folks that already knew you, yeah?
I would say that in many cases, we had soft circled, but not closed. And I fashion these things as kind of codependent. In a lot of cases, the momentum depends on your existing commitments, but the reverse is also true, that the commitments depend on the momentum. So it's a virtuous cycle. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a case where you have to close one and then follow up with the second.
Cool, thanks.
Cool, thanks. Well, I've got this data. It's available for anyone. When I was starting out, it was very difficult to understand what to expect out of these inbound fundraisers. It was difficult to understand what to expect out of these investor communities. So my hope is that by sharing some of it, it takes a little bit of the black box out of it, and folks can lean harder into that direction. Thanks very much.
I just have one last question. It seems like a lot of the stuff from Angel's List is almost like the philosophy, like you put all your eggs in one basket. Do you feel that way, or do you feel like that damaged you in any way in certain inbound pitches?
I don't understand the question.
It seems like a lot of your momentum was driven through one channel. Do you feel like that damaged you in any way? Or obviously your whole pitch is that is the most successful way to pitch investors? No,
I think that I was coming up to speed on the different investor communities. I think there's no reason why you couldn't work multiple communities at the same time. I think the biggest predictor of success that I've seen is full 100% dedication to that inbound effort. So I think you could do multiple channels and multiple platforms and not have to choose. Great.
We're officially out of time.
Myles, thanks very much.
So awesome, Antony. So awesome. I wish I had half a brain to figure that out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Right on. You guys learned something new, maybe? Yeah, I did. Okay, where is Marc from Scoop.it? Marc. Hello. Thank you, sir. Okay, so Marc is going to plug in. Let me make a quick announcement. So we have a part of the night that we do, which is a lot of fun. It would be interesting to see how we squeeze it in tonight, but we do what we call our 60-second spots. So not everybody can be on this stage for their 5-minute demo, but you could be up here for 1 minute if you have something that you want to show off, or if you're looking to hire somebody or looking for a job. I will let you know when that's going to happen. Probably we'll take maybe a midterm intermission and do that. So think of what you might want to say. Don't be shy. It's a good opportunity. So Marc's here from Scoop.it, and Scoop.it's awesome.
Thank you.
And Marc is awesome, and he's got a whole team, a posse back here, so you better deliver.
For sure, it's on, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Do you want this one or this one?
I think this one is better.
Okay.
Thank you. Whoa. I hope you had a good time so far, because now we're going to talk about Ptolemy. Ptolemy Soter the first, friend and general of Alexander the Great, king of Macedon. Yeah. Ptolemy built the library of Alexandria, and that was 2,300 years ago. And 23 minutes ago, Arabella Santiago browsed the web and shared content. She did. Ptolemy and Arabella have something in common. They both value content. However, they live in two different worlds. while Ptolemy was able to gather all the written content of his time in one single place, Arabella is constantly submerged by new web content. It's absolutely critical for Arabella and for the rest of us who live and work in this web that it's properly organized. Arabella doesn't believe that algorithm can do the job alone. Frankly, would you? It's not a joke. She believes in human reasons. That people like you and me using their expertise and passion on specific topic to organize the web. And the good news for Arabella is that these people exist. They are the web curators. And by curating the web, they do to our world what Ptolemy did to his, which is to make knowledge and information better organized, easier to access, more meaningful. They are superheroes. Thank you, the curators. They are the Ptolemy crowdsourced. However, they don't do it just because they are altruistic. They do it for their own benefits too, because curating is rewarding. How is it so? It's because content is king. It's because we all need to publish a lot of content on the web to exist. Even Brian would agree. Today we are what we publish. And we all agree, however, it's a bit pricey for most of us to fly a space shuttle on San Francisco Bay, or for that matter, to fly a man to space just for the sake of content. That's where publishing by curation comes as a golden opportunity. When you publish by curation, you actually demonstrate your thought leadership. You grow your audience, your brand awareness, your traffic. It's an effective content marketing strategy. So we developed Scoop.it with that idea in mind. We wanted to make publishing by curation both easy and rewarding. Easy so more people would come and join and use their human values to make the web a better place, and rewarding so they'd be motivated to do it. And so professionals and businesses could draw measurable ROI from it. So Scoop.it is a freemium solution for publishing by curation. It does three things for you. One, it helps you find, discover, source relevant content from our community and from our suggestion engine, which browses millions of web pages every day and is powered by big data analysis. Second, it makes it super easy for you to edit this content, to enrich it, to add your context, because context is king too. And to publish it in a gorgeous looking page, which is a home for your content, and which boasts amazing SEO performances. And then it makes it easy to share your content, to promote it throughout the web, to whichever media you want to shine on. We launched Scoop.it in November 2011, and the market response has been really impressive. We are building a community of awesome curators, and I know that some of them are here today, so congrats and thank you very much. Together, you have curated north of 50 million pieces of content so far, attracting an audience of close to 80 million uniques. Our most successful curators have passed the 2 million views mark on one single page. And they are not as famous as Brian or Steve. They did it by sharing ideas that matter. We're not talking about lolcats, we're not talking about twerks, failed or fake. We're talking about sharing quality content. And because today is a special Apple Day, we are very proud to announce Scoop.it C with colors. No, we are not. We are proud to announce Scoop.it for iPad. And we developed it on our users' demand, because they need to publish whenever inspiration strikes, whenever their audience requires to be fed. So basically, we packed the three components of curation, discovery, editing, and sharing in a great iPad user experience. What we ended up doing is to turn their favorite content consumption device into an easy-to-use yet seriously powerful publishing solution. Isn't it revolutionary? So the bad news is Ptolemy couldn't make it tonight. He's been delayed by 2,300 years of history. But the good news is Arabella and other members of our awesome team are here tonight and be really delighted to show Scoop.it to iPad to you and to discuss and demonstrate how you also can shine on the web by sharing ideas that matters. Thank you.
Okay, now this time in English. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, he's right. I'm sorry.
C'est bon. It's good.
Next year will be better. So did you get half of what I said, or a bit more than that? Right, go to the site. It's self-explanatory, and you will shine.
Okay, hands up high. Chrissy, you have a question.
I didn't.
Oh, you're just yawning. That's okay. Come on, guys, hands up. I'm not the only one with questions here, right? So, Marc, I'm seeing a lot of tweets out there that content is king, right? And you guys are building the ultimate content aggregator and giving people a voice like they've never had before. What is your strategy to connect with the people that have things to share that will further your brand out into the webosphere? Does that make sense?
It does. If you could repeat it in French, perhaps. No, thank you. I got it. It's obviously a very important question. The one thing we want to achieve is to enable the people who have actual true passion and expertise from a specific topic to find a voice. And if you are already very famous, or if you can afford a big editorial team, you might not need Scoop.it. However, if you want to express yourself, because you have something to share, and what you have to share is your expertise, your passion, and all of us, we have an expertise and passion for a specific topic, but most of us, we are not able to write as well as Brian can do, and we don't have a big audience waiting for us yet. So the big challenge here is not to find people who have passion and expertise, is to enable these people to find their voice, to find their audience. So what we say that you don't have the skill, the audience, and the time to write. However, you have a specific, precise passion or expertise for a given topic. You can be the passer of this topic. You can be the one person who's going to make the web better by finding the best content on this specific topic and to make it available to others. And what we found is that it works because people would start by finding content, thanks to Scoop.it, organizing a bit, and starting to share. And then a viral loop will occur.
Cool. So I'm not sure if you touched on it, but what exactly is your business model to make this all happen?
Right. I just put one word on that. I say it's a freemium solution, which is the answer. So basically, the platform is open. We really want to have more curators, not for us to shine, but really we believe that curation makes the web a better place. We need human rhythm in the web. So it's open and it's free. However, there is a version for businesses, a freemium version which offers additional goodies, such as analytics to monitor and increase your impact, white labeling, branding up to white labeling, other features which increase the impact of your publication, such as scheduling of posts, which is very handy if you want like to curate 15 minutes in the morning and make sure that all your media are covered throughout the day, team curation as well. So basically we have companies paying online for on a monthly basis subscription to get additional power out of the platform.
We have a question from Twitter that is, how does Scoop.it benefit startups specifically?
Well, we benefit to everyone who wants to express themselves, have something to say, but not the time or the power to become a true media. So it does benefit startups a lot, and our users initially were very much from the startup world, although we have passed this because we have 7 million uniques now, so we passed the startup world. But basically on a startup, sometimes, well, if you are in a startup, you have a passion and you have an expertise, nothing to say. And there is one resource more important than information that you don't have, which is time. So if you are in a startup, what we offer to you is to express yourself, to find your voice, to attract an audience, to demonstrate your reputation without having to spend too much time on that. And the time aspect of curation, which makes the positive ROI, is very important.
OK, votre pitch était excellent. No. So how do you, if you're coming new to Scoop.it, how do you start? How do you jump in and find it?
Well, if you come to Scoop.it, you would like to express yourself on a given topic. So the first thing you say is to tell which topic you want to curate. So you will create a topic that's one click, put a few keywords, which will start and seed and feed our suggestion engine so we can start browsing the web and get content for you. And from that, you will just pick the 1, 2, 3 contents which make sense. There is an edit window, which is way easier than on blogging, but pretty much same concept. and then you publish. So 2 keywords, 3 clicks, and you are online. And we also have more and more people coming to Scoop.it to actually follow other curators, because with so many curators, we all have this passion and expertise. The content that we find on Scoop.it is now a real source of valuable content. So we want people to come, to curate, to create topic, and to organize the web, but some can just come to listen and read and get new knowledge.
C'est fini?
I'm better in timing than in English, I think.
Well, you thank you so much. I had a joke about Frenchmen and being quick, but that's another story.
Now we are no longer friends.
Actually, he's right. You guys
Thank
can
you,
teach us
everyone.
a thing or two. Cool. Well, scoop it, you guys. That's cool.
Please go see Arabella, Ali, and the rest of the team for the demo.
Yeah.
You cannot live without a demo.
So Scoop.it has a cocktail table in the back. Go visit, pick up some swag, and sign up. All right. Where's Chris? Chris McConnell. Coming up, my friend. All right. So Chris is here from AT&T. He's
assistant to the chief bottle washer. That's my official title.
Assistant Secretary of the Undersecretary to Emerging Devices Technology guy.
We're big on title.
Right on. Okay, so if you didn't get a chance to visit these guys in the back, Chris brought a whole bunch of toys. Maybe check them out later. But he's going to talk a little bit about what AT&T is doing to make your life more connected.
Right on, Myles. Thanks a lot. Good evening, everybody. I got to come clean on something. When they said, "You want to come speak at this event? It's a tech event." I said, "This is great, because I'm an addict." What kind of addict? They said, I'm a tech addict. I'm going to fit right in. You think that's weird, but all the first names made me feel like this is an anonymous event. It's like Tech Anonymous. And we all have our vices, right? My vice is gadgets. And so about 5 years ago, AT&T started an organization called Emerging Devices. Our charter is to connect our network to all kinds of products. And a little over 5 years and a couple million devices later, we've been having a lot of fun connecting really cool stuff, from cars to healthcare to tracking to mobile computing, tablets, consumer electronics. And I thought I would show you a few of my favorite devices. So let me put it in perspective if you're not sure with what I'm talking about. This is a little printed circuit board, and on this is a SIM card tray if you look carefully and have great vision. But if you looked at your phone and thought about the cellular radio inside that phone and how it gets you connected to the internet with a SIM card, that's what I'm talking about. So over on that table were a bunch of gadgets, and if you had a chance to take a look at them, cool, but I'll show you a few of my favorites. This one, so this is my show and tell demo. This is a product from Samsung. It's called the Galaxy Camera. And imagine an Android phone, which is really what this looks like on the back, matched with a really cool, high-quality digital camera with a really nice optical zoom. And the quality of that zoom is super neat. So stop by after and I'll give you a great detailed tour on it. So this has a SIM card in it, has a cellular radio. Billions of photos are taken daily. The quality of those photos are questionable. A product like this can take really cool photos. Take a picture, send it right from the camera, post it up. Don't have to download, sideload, or any of that. So this is the Samsung Galaxy Camera, and it's cellular embedded. It's super cool. So my next show and tell gadget, let's see, which pocket do I want to show you? How many gamers in the room? Okay. So this is the Sony PSV. If you haven't seen it, the V stands for Vita. It's a life in Italian or Spanish, depending upon where you're from. How a Japanese company got to PSV, I'm not sure, but that's the next generation PSP. And in cellular world, this is connected. It's got a 3G radio. You can download games right to the device. You want to get a new game. You want to play a friend in a multiplayer game. You want to post your scores. You can do it all from the device. And it's mobile. You don't have to be on a Wi-Fi hotspot. All cellular. So that's the Sony PSV. Super cool. I got another show and tell for you here. Some of you might have this product. This one is probably my favorite. It's the best example, one of the best examples of a cellular connected product. For me, this is a bit like the Corona commercial. So if you know the commercial I'm talking about, the guy or the girl's on the beach, barefoot, the Corona bottle pops open. I see a few around the room. And, you know, that sort of vacation is life is taking place right there. So imagine you've just finished your book, you want to get a new book, and you download or browse for a book on Amazon's bookstore, you click buy, and as Jeff Bezos says, it's magically delivered in something less than a minute. Your new book is on your device, and you're off and reading. It all happens behind the scenes. There's no complicated offer. It's all part of the purchase price of the book. Super cool product, really compelling experience, and this is their new Paperwhite if you haven't seen it. So that's the Amazon Kindle, again, cellular enabled. It enables that experience kind of wherever you're at. The last one's a bit more personal for me, and I'm watching the dog run around here, which I think is super cool. So I have a couple of big dogs, and once in a while they get away. And this is the connected GPS dog collar. It can be used for many applications, but a dog collar is a really cool one. You see it here it's from Garmin. It's called the GTU10. And if you're into GPS solutions, you can establish a geofence, sort of a virtual fence, let's say around your yard, around your home. And if your dog escapes, you start getting notified, text message, email, and otherwise. So that's the Garmin GTU10. Some people have been tracking their spouses. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. All right, that being said, we're going to culminate with some Q&A. We've got a little giveaway, and the challenge on the giveaway is for whoever can show us the most connected devices. They can be Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular, or otherwise. If you've got the most, so think about a phone. Maybe you got 2 phones. Maybe you have a connected laptop, a tablet, Google Glasses, these kinds of connected devices. Whoever has the most, you're going to stop by and see my wingman, Jake. He'll keep track of it, and through the end of the evening, we'll be here, and we're going to give away a brand new Kindle Fire HD LTE 8.9. All right? Right on. Q&A. Anybody got any questions?
Right on, Chris.
And I've got a challenge for you before we go to that gentleman over there. If you have any ideas around things that would be better in your life if they were cellular connected, I'm really interested in hearing about that. And from a business perspective, it could be something we could explore. So if you have a cellular connected device, if something was better if it was connected, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for listening.
Good stuff. So yeah, so get in deep with AT&T, right? I just met a guy tonight. He's like, hey, can I pitch tonight? I'm like, dude, it's not that easy. But Clement, are you here? Where's Clement? Anyway, he has a new product that leverages cellular technology to let you use the internet when you have no internet.
He's my new BFF.
I know. And he left, so that's his loss. So
tragic.
We'll do questions, and I've got this this jar for cards for the Giants ticket giveaway from AT&T. If you drop a duplicate in, we're going to visit your house and flog you.
So I think it was Marc that said you guys are pouring boatloads of money into upgrading infrastructure for 4G LTE. That's great for consumers. We all have smartphones, all those little toys in your pocket. But how have you seen, it's been a year since AT&T announced the retirement of the 2G network in 2017. Have you seen any decrease in innovation in the M2M Internet of Things space?
It's a good question. You know, the reality is there's lots of M2M applications that benefit from a slower network like 2G. And there'll have to be a transition like there was from, you know, analog to digital and from 1G to 2G. And that same transition has happened over time. And the good news is there's a long lead time for those developers of MDM applications to make that transition, and I suspect, like they have historically, they'll make it again in the future. But it's a good question. It's a challenge we all face. Both the developer, the customer, the whole ecosystem faces that transition.
Hi, I'm working on a Kickstarter to develop a connected device. We've actually looked into using a cellular connection, but the cost of doing that and the kind of overhead in terms of the user experience, setting up a monthly data plan, that kind of thing, that actually made it prohibitive. Is there anything kind of, are you aware of that? And is there anything kind of in the pipeline that could make it more trivial to connect devices in the future?
Yeah, good question. So I'd say the good news here is you get connected to the right people inside a company of 280,000 employees. So that's the first step in understanding the options you have. across the ecosystem of OEMs, you have a variety of business models from wholesale to retail to hybrid. And so the Amazon Kindle model is an example where it's important enough to Amazon to deliver that content to the customer that they're willing to pay for that as part of the purchase price of the book. And they remove that from the complexity of the equation for the customer to have to make a selection. And so depending upon what your data needs are for your solution, there might be some extremely economical options to deliver that data to the customer, both on the hardware and the transport side. So I'd encourage you to stop by and let's exchange info and see if we can help you find a solution.
Thank you.
All right, let's call it be brief, be bold, be gone. Myles, thank you very much for having us tonight. Unless you have another question.
Is there any more? Anybody else? So the game is on the 25th that we have tickets for. It's Giants versus Dodgers. Chris, wait, stay here. Let's do this now. Okay. Yeah, let's do this now. Who didn't drop a card? You're out of luck. Ha!
All right.
So the way we like to do it at SF New Tech, the first card out doesn't win a damn thing.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So you get a big bag of nothing here. Let me read your phone number just to get you started. 617-921-9091. Susanna, you're going home with
she didn't win. Sorry.
Going home with a wish sandwich. All right, so we'll put you back in.
All right.
All right, let's see here. So I'm going to read your phone number.
You can read names.
And it's 867-5309. Jenny?
Jenny?
No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Peter Kim with TriNet. You are the winner of the Giants tickets.
Peter.
Nice job. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Wait a minute. Are you going to go to the game or are you going to scalp them? Okay.
Are we giving away 2 sets?
We're going to see you there. Yeah, one more.
All right. Oh, we got to pick another one. That was really bad.
It's yours. It's Verizon's.
This person, their motto is "Get plugged into the world." I like that. Benjamin Ming-On Lee. He's an MBA candidate from Holt.
Benjamin from Holt. You have to be here to win. Benjamin, raise your hand high.
You're going to the Giants game.
There he is, in the back.
Right on, Benjamin.
Play ball.
He gets a second chance. Myles, thank you. Guys, thanks a lot.
Right on. Take this with you. And the Kindle Fire we'll do later, yeah? Okay. How you guys feeling? I'm feeling all right. Yeah. Jennifer, where are you? So who here has heard of Fiverr? Ooh. Who here has used Fiverr? What are you saying, Daisy? Go get it. Sorry. Sometimes we get a nice snort. It's good for a laugh. So Jennifer's a digital strategist for Fiverr, and Fiverr has some exciting things coming up, but we can't really talk about. Yeah, you get to know. I know. But maybe we can hint at it or something. But herein, let's hear what Fiverr's up to.
Thank you. Hi. Thanks for the welcome from those of you that know Fiverr, and if you don't know Fiverr, the whole idea was to be very, very simple. The idea is that around the world, all people have a talent that someone else needs. Now don't be saucy, don't look at each other. There are some services we will not sell. But for the most part, there are services that those of us in this room need. And how easy would it be if only a few clicks away, you could register for a website that would make the price point go away. All of that haggling and hassling. It wasn't an auction system. It wasn't anything more than $5, a very low price to pay. And so therefore, our founders came up with the idea of Fiverr. As simple as its name, $5 bought you all kinds of services, which on this website are called gigs. We call this the new Fiverr, which launched in June, and it's the home of the gig economy. And when we say that, we really mean it. We're talking about people's lives that have been changed by this platform, who've bought homes, who've had children, who've paid for operations. And I don't mean that to be cheesy. Before I took this gig at Fiverr, I was a very happy consultant living like a fat cat off lots of different companies. And I took this job because I actually ate the dog food. Dog in the room, you know, pardon the pun. But if you look at graphics and design as an example, many of you in this room can probably relate to having a design need. And so you might look through who we have here, that all kinds of different designs and logos and different things. And Greg, if you want to just click on one, we go into a gig. So here he picks one, of course, a samurai type guy, or what is this guy with a spear? So basically the person tells you exactly what they're willing to do for $5. And if they're a level seller, in this case, this person is not a level seller, but if they're a level seller, which means that they've got a great track record and have had some good feedback, they can achieve a level 1, level 2, or top-rated seller status. In the case of our top-rated sellers, they can charge up to $500 for services. And now we're talking about some real money. And also some real needs that can be filled. From Australia to Canada, we've had some amazing stories of businesses that have been powered by Fiverr. Interestingly, too, is this story of actually outsourcing in the reverse, outsourcing the innovation of Americans, people in the UK, people in Canada, people in Australia. People like Marissa Schwartz. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can have a look at her story. She's from Woodbridge, New Jersey, the oldest city in New Jersey. And she talks about how through her copy editing services, her love of writing, and her love of Fiverr, which is actually helping her pay to go through Drew University in Woodbridge, she's been able to connect with all kinds of people. When Hurricane Sandy occurred and the lights went out, she lost contact with a whole group of clients. But they became more than clients when the lights came back on. They became her friends. And that compelling story is just one of many that we hear about on this platform that's all based around $5, that's evolved into something much, much more powerful than something simple and definitely not cheap. It's really what we can do. So if we look at the professional and creative unique logos here, and you scroll up, you can see very simply, much like other websites you've seen, I'm sure, who the person is, what their ratings are, how many orders they've finished. And like Logo Gallery here, there are 1.7 million registered users on Fiverr. We recently hit a landmark of 2 million plus gigs on the website. The astonishing thing is a click away and very little user information collected on the website has accumulated in a gig purchased every 6 seconds. And every single day, more than 4,000 gigs are listed. Those aren't duplicates. Those aren't one of many. Those are individual gigs and services, many of which are relevant to you. Because the top categories that are growing are not sort of the fun and bizarre stuff that you may have seen on some of the TV shows, but it's actually services like copy editing, press release writing, help with SEO, help with writing blog articles, reviewing business plans. The list goes on of the kinds of things that can really be done on Fiverr. And that's the simple pitch. Your questions.
So I have a question. I went on Fiverr and I found somebody who wrote a business plan for $5. Is it worth it?
Actually, I would say that it is. One of the greatest secrets behind Fiverr, in my opinion, is that even our CEO sells on Fiverr. One of the things that we tell everyone, but we don't necessarily reveal who we are at the beginning, but we all sell on Fiverr, so we have an authentic experience and are part of our own community. So your business plan could be reviewed by our very own CEO, who happens to have been very successful many times over. And knowing him well, I would take his advice in a heartbeat, especially for $5.
Okay. I have a question. Did you say that you have a $500 upper limit?
So what happens is the base price is $5 at the moment. And for top-rated sellers, they can choose to have extras that people purchase. The purchase price can then build to $500. So most people that are growing on the site right now, each individual gig that's purchased is more than a $5 purchase.
Okay, but why do you put a limit of $500?
Well, the idea wasn't to put a limit. The original concept was to take the haggling away, because in the experience of the entrepreneurs that founded the company, it was such a hassle to have to haggle over price. So it was to make it a level playing field. Same thing with the 500, having levels that are just really simple and easy to comprehend. And things will change, I think, as we grow. But I think the idea of keeping things as frictionless as possible will remain.
Hi, I'm your next question, right back here.
Okay.
Straight back. Look straight back. You can't see me anyway. I'm
Oh,
waving.
there you are.
All right, I
Hello.
love Fiverr. I'm Lane, by the way.
Fabulous.
I use it all the time for my podcast. Everything I produce in my podcast, the Fiverr folks do for me. My question for you,
Wonderful.
though, is what do these people really do? What do most of the sellers do? Are these folks that this is their full-time job, they're just selling on Fiverr? Or is this guys like me who are in PR and I'm like, I got an extra 5 minutes, I'll write a press release? Like, what are most of the sellers? Where do they come from?
Buyers or sellers? Because you're a buyer.
Yeah, I know, the sellers.
Sellers are all kinds of people. We have an increasing number of people that actually just sell on Fiverr for a living. They certainly are welcome to sell on other sites as well, but I can't really tell you what the proportion is because it changes all of the time. I can tell you I could give you guesses, but this is recorded, so I can't really tell you. If you really want to know, I can tell you more later, and I certainly can set up any data that you want. We're happy to provide you an interview later or give you more data later. I can only tell you what data I can tell you.
Jennifer, so quick question. So what sets you apart from like a TaskRabbit or an Etsy for that matter?
It's a really good question. We actually take a lot of inspiration from Etsy, TaskRabbit, Fab, a lot of companies out there. I think what sets us apart from TaskRabbit is that I think on TaskRabbit's entire site, they have the number of listings we list in one day. And they're not mostly local services. So while TaskRabbit is fantastic when I'm in San Francisco, it's terrible for me when I'm traveling other places and it's just not available. So one of the places I could use TaskRabbit the most is where my mother lives. And I don't know who else has a mother that lives in a location you don't particularly love, but I don't particularly love Fresno. And I don't particularly love driving around and picking up laundry and doing things for her. And the problem is there's no one there to do the things TaskRabbit can do for me here in San Francisco. So it's sort of that problem of cities, right? Whereas a marketplace like Fiverr, it's completely different services. While there are moms in the Midwest, believe it or not, that bake apple pie and send it to Australia, there are the site isn't limited by the imagination of the geographical area. I'll put it that way. The team that I work with, we're based on 3 different continents and 4 different time zones. People in Baja, California, or Baja, Mexico, actually, to Israel. Our headquarters are in Tel Aviv, and our US location is on Park Avenue in New York City. I'm out here in California. We're kind of all over. Are you okay, Myles?
Oh, I'm good.
No, don't take a dive for Fiverr. Now we know what you do for $5. Anyway, so I guess we're not limited by the imagination of the location of the region. Ask me a hard one. Come on, someone.
We have 10 seconds for a hard one. Who's got a hard one? In the back. How are your pipes? Did you hear the question? So
I
for
think
those
so.
who
So
couldn't have
it's-
heard it, let me repeat.
go for
What is it? What's your
Percentage of the gigs listed that are purchased. Okay, and the second is how do you get your gig known, right? So I can't tell you, I can tell you sort of by category. We can talk about that individually after, but each category is very different in terms of what the typical rate is. Has a lot to do with how good the person is at tagging and making their gig known. The best thing that you can do to promote your gig is to over-deliver, under-promise, and email us at community@fiverr.com, and we'll do our damn best to promote you for you. Does that help? Thank you so much. I'm available anytime, and I'm looking forward to seeing. I got the email.
Oh, good.
SF New Tech or SFNT Invest.
Yes.
It arrived. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. Thank
Right
you,
on.
Myles.
Jennifer, thank you so much. Fiverr, keep your ears peeled for some good stuff coming down the pike. So did you guys, everybody here should have received their email. Who's checking email? I say it again? Panda is on there twice. We can look into that. That's a bug. Thank you so much. That shouldn't be, but we'll look at Panda being on there twice. Maybe. Yeah, these guys paid. They're taking us out to breakfast tomorrow. No. So who received the email? Who doesn't give a shit? Because we have 10 people signed up. Let's get that. Come on, people. Jesus. We're launching something awesome, and we're inviting you to be a part of it. Did you read the damn email? Did you get the email? Well, okay, John, come on.
Okay, if you got the email, the thing is that you can save a draft of your investment and modify it later, so you don't need to wait. You can save a draft, and at the end of the night, we will ask you to submit directly your investments. Okay. Thank you.
That will only make sense if you sign into the damn thing that we're trying to show you. No, this is wicked cool. You guys all got $1 million tonight. Do something with it. Crying out loud. Okay. Eric's here from
WebKite. Pittsburgh.
I'd say Pittsburgh, yeah? Pittsburgh's cool.
I grew up in Sunnyvale. I moved out to go to CMU and
Really?
ended up falling in love with it. So
Good for you,
Pittsburgh is
man. Well,
cool.
you pay
Yeah.
you pay a quarter of the mortgages we do, and probably are going to come here, extract your value, and move it back to Pittsburgh, which is awesome.
We'll do our best.
So WebKite is something awesome you should know about, and Eric's going to tell you all about it.
Thanks, Myles. So it's probably been about 20 years now that people have been building ways to publish content on the web. I bet everyone in this room can think of a way that you can publish an article or a snippet, your errant thought, a blog post, an audio boo, a phone call, a movie. So why do we need another content publishing platform? The reason why is because everyone in this room has also at one point said it's really hard to find a developer, or hey buddy, do you know a developer? Because we keep developing the same apps and the same sites over and over again. And most of those apps are built out of structured data, and they have some sort of framework around them that allow people to make a decision. I'm talking about things like store locators, directories, catalogs, sites like Yelp, Healthgrades, Kayak. Really, the most successful publishers on the web are publishing in a way that until WebKite came along, you couldn't publish. We've shown up now, and we've been the platform that powers over 1,000 websites. We've made those kinds of apps, things like course catalogs, membership directories, comparison and review sites. So tonight, really quickly, we're going to go and put together a site. I got from Myles and the SF New Tech folks a spreadsheet of all the folks who've presented here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start uploading that, go and grab the file, grab it off my desktop. And what's going to happen first is WebKite's going to go through and it's going to identify all the facets that are there. It's figured out enough now that I can say SF New Tech, and that I can go in and say that it has companies in it. It's telling me that I need to give it a little bit of help with one of the attributes. It's saying one of the numbers that they have in the spreadsheet is the amount of funding raised. And right now it can't figure out whether it wants me to have that be an integer and sort by it, or whether it wants me to display all the data. I know they also have total amount raised, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this one as text, and that's all that we need. And here I'm just going to label the demo. Demo. Hard to do and hold a microphone. The hardest part of WebKite is using it while holding a microphone. So right now it's running through the 665 different rows in that spreadsheet, and it's going and creating a page for each one of those items. It's, oh no. It's popping on through them. I'm not sure what even happened here. I think we went to sleep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Julia Childs moment while the countdown goes down. And what I'm going to say is, to save time, it's all right, Myles. I'll sort it out. I'll just reboot.
It's a reboot. Oh.
Yeah, it is. I'll probably ask somebody to ask the question, and what do you do next?
You should be on a Mac, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Save it till that says 0. so we'll pop back in. But the basic parts it has a set of facets. You're able to go and define those attributes. It has some basic attribute types. And those attribute types are things like numbers, dates, locations. They're the kinds of things that you'd want to be able to go and sort data by, that you'd want to be able to present data by. So once that data has all come into it, you're able to then use those attributes to go ahead and make lists. Those lists then each become a page, and actually the combination of those lists become a page. So thinking about one of the things that you'd want, this is going to be hard to get back into the demo since it's all online. But thinking about the kinds of things that you'd want in that list is you'd start saying things like, what are the companies that have raised the most money? What are the companies that have exited? So this is our big to save time version of it that was put together before I got here. And this has the SF New Tech logo. It's got the set of lists on the side. It's got the companies that presented most recently before tonight. And I'm just going to go and just grab a couple things on the sidebar. See companies that had raised a bunch of money, got acquired. And go check, get rid of the acquired piece, just see what's been acquired, maybe put those in alphabetical order. And it's all just working. Since it sounds like a lot of you also have some sort of mobile device here right now, you can also go and check out this same site, sfnewtech.flyasite.com on your mobile device. And you'll find the same sort of experience there that you'd expect in a mobile device. The ability to select criteria, the ability to compare items, learn more about one. And if you're one of these companies, you can even go and claim your listing and own that page, keep it up to date, and continue the conversation with SF New Tech. One quick interface to show you on this, and this is something that we're just starting to launch out to folks, is that this also was customized to match the SF New Tech brand. You're actually able to go through and edit the entire theme yourself, so you can go find the files, and what's going to present here is the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript. So you're able to do anything that you'd want to without having to learn how to code, only having to know how to go and do the basic HTML. So that ended up being my time. Folks who want to see more of the interface, please ask about it, but happy to take questions.
All right. Hey, sorry about the glitch there, Eric, but you recovered really well.
Thanks, Myles.
And I really love how you segmented our data. So,
cool.
You know, was it really 400 companies?
665.
665 companies have been on this stage.
Well, like 670 now.
Jeez Louise. So believe it or not, we collect a little data on that in a very haphazard way, and maybe WebKite will help it make a lot more sense for us, and I think that's great. So aside from my being thrilled by this, who raise a hand for WebKite? I'm mid-room. Maybe I can see more hands if I come this way. So is your whole dev team in Pittsburgh?
We've got one guy in Washington, D.C. doing DevOps. But we ended up, our CTO had built cloud computing while he was at Yahoo. He led that team, 65 engineers. He's leading our 14 engineers now, and we've been working on it for 3 years.
Wow. So for the layman, which all you guys are, you have no questions, that's what I'm going to call you. Okay. This is a way to create a directory like none other.
Yeah, so there's a lot of sites that you don't need to reflect too long on to see that they have the same basic structure. So thinking about like what you want out of a store directory or a store locator, you wanted to create a set of lists so that you're able to find it easily in Google, find all the Best Buys that are in your town or all the AT&T phone distributors. You want to find all the ones that carry the line of the stuff you want to buy. You want to find out if they're open. Find out if they have sales or coupons. All these sites work basically the same. Like the Yelp model, the Craigslist model, these models get used over and over again. You can see it exactly in Fiverr. You can see it in most of the companies that you build. Instead of having half of your dev team working on something that's been coded over 10,000 times, just go ahead and use a platform, turn it into a monthly fee, get a kick-ass dev team on it, and stop worrying about it. That's the other version of the pitch. Oh, cool.
What about the ownership for the intellectual property rights for the whole site design? Is that going to be shared between you and me, or what happens to that?
I heard the end of the question, but not the beginning.
Okay, stop back. I want to generate reports for my internal departments using my data that I have instead of and then using nice interactive things. Can I do that? Can I get the whole HTML, JavaScript, stuff like that?
Yeah, you can.
And then if I publish that, who owns the IP rights for the whole design? Do you guys, can I sell those to other people? Do you want to share, or how does that work?
So the only times that we keep any kind of right is if you use the free plan. Otherwise, it's your data, it's your site. You can have it be as private as you want. It's your code that you write in HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Of course, anyone in the world can grab those assets from your site just by hitting View Source. But we don't aspire to own your site or to compete with you. We aspire to be a partner to you.
For the lay woman, can you explain the difference between what you guys are doing and what Scoop.it is?
Sure.
Both of I heard is content, and then also maybe interwoven, if you can interweave that into the picture.
Yeah. So I don't pretend to understand their business model, but I do understand the idea of curation and the idea that people are going and grabbing a few pieces themselves. Something that's a bit different than that is you have some set of data, or maybe even a data feed. Talking more about the idea of like what we have with Myles here. There are new companies that are presenting every month, coming in front of you. Those new companies, there's that same data that's being entered every month into a spreadsheet and going and putting it out there. So if you had a list that was like the 5 most recent, clean tech plays to present here, that list would change over time and need to be updated. Because it's all procedurally generated, that list stays up to date, the sitemaps stay up to date, the content continues to work. It has that programmatic logic. We focused on things like search, things like filtering, and how it's sorted to go and make unique pages that are high value and that answer questions for people on the web. So someone can show up, go and look at the SF New Tech company, say, who is it that I should be investing in? Who came along quickly? Or someone asking, should I come here and present? Who's come here, presented, raised a bunch of money, had a huge exit? It's a different set of questions that people are asking to find content. So it's not that you're curating it for them, it's that they want to curate it themselves. And you're presenting to them a menu, a catalog of options.
For what I see, according to that question, Scoop.it is pretty much like a social media site, right, where you can share content, pictures, and share it around the world. And what you guys pretty much do is, let's say I have a startup business, and you guys can help me build my website and put it out there with the SEO and help people find it and build a different type of website than the ones that are already out there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to call out anyone specifically, but I've seen a lot of pitches where somebody spent years of their life building something that you could build in a couple days on WebKite.
Yeah.
It is this basic set of pages. There are a lot of ways for people to submit it. There are ways for you to go and add a page. You can configure it so that other people on the web are able to interact with that content in a number of ways. It's a pretty simple presentation pattern. The reason we all use it is because it works. It's used by Amazon and eBay. It's used by Buy.com. It's used everywhere that you go and look, either at e-commerce or at the way that there's sort of these curated decision-making platforms. And so that's the thing that we build. The small differences, the small changes can either be done in the HTML and in the JavaScript, or sometimes a small piece of embedded code.
All right, so maybe a minute left, maybe not. We're running a little long on this one, but last call for a question for Brian? In the front, of course. That's why I went to the back.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How would you compare this to Wix.com?
Yeah, so Wix, Weebly, Webs, there's a lot of sites out there that what their focus is make something drag and droppable so you can build a web page quickly. They're better for that. If what you want is one page, don't use us. If what you want is to go and post a blog, that sounds like something for WordPress. If what you're trying to do is make a site that actually makes money, that actually leads people from, I don't know what I'm going to choose, through a decision funnel to actually choosing a thing, WebKite's really good at that. If at the end you're trying to get somebody to fill out a form to sign up for more information, you're trying to get someone to click a buy button, you're trying to get somebody to send their kid to that school, like WebKite kicks ass. Cool.
All right, we're out of time. Eric, WebKite, check it out.
Thanks, Myles.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to leveraging WebKite in the future. Okay, so Makita, before you begin, you know what? Take your time plugging in. Because the way this evening is stretching out, and I know you guys are maybe your butts hurt or whatever, I don't know. We have 2 more presentations, but we want to get going on our SFNT Invest thing. We have maybe 30 people that have logged in so far, so some of you guys are total losers, whatever. It's your loss. But no, check your email or go to sfntinvest.com and just log in that way too. That way you get to rate a lot of these guys and spend your $1 million. Who gave you $1 million yesterday or the day before? Nobody. Jeez. Okay, so before we continue, excuse me. I want to, thank you. I want to do the 60 seconds pause to get them out of the way so we can have a continuous movement right into our investment deal. So Makita, again, relax for a few minutes, get used to the podium. Who here has something quick that they would like to say to everybody here? Now's your opportunity. Line up here. We're going to do maybe 5 at the most, okay? Brian doesn't count, but come on up. This doesn't count as 1 because he's all being.
I'm Brian, and I don't count. I love this guy. 7.5 years, longest running show in town. I do a couple conferences too, but they're a little different. I do the Future of Money and Technology Summit, which will take place on December 9th, and the SF Music Tech Summit, which takes place on October 1st. And they friggin' rock, and you should be there if it's your space. SF New Tech for 10% off. Let's give a big hand to Myles.
Right on. Brian, thank you. He's the man of music and money. Go find him. He's dialed in. He knows what he's talking about. Jasper, come on up.
Thanks, Myles. So since we're having so much fun with European accents today, I thought I should throw some Dutch into the mix. I'm Jasper from Holland in the Valley, and I want to tell you a little bit about the Rockstart Accelerator. It's an accelerator program from Amsterdam, and this year's startups that are participating were selected from over 400 companies, and I must say I'm really impressed by this year's portfolio companies. So I would like to introduce you to these companies, and luckily they are in San Francisco right now. So we're hosting a little mixer and pitch night at our Netherlands Consul General on the Thursday, the 19th. So I'd like to invite you all to go to hollandinthevalley.com so you can get an invitation. Thanks, Myles.
Holland in the Valley. And no, Amsterdam is staying where it is. Don't worry.
Hello, my name's Evan Combs. I work at Cressa. It's a commercial real estate firm here in San Francisco. I work in our high growth technology group. I help venture-backed and bootstrapped companies find office space in the city. So if you are in the market for office space, whether it be a desk or an entire building, reach out to me.
Right on, Evan. Thank you. Antonia, keep it clean.
Keeping it clean, yes. The reason for that is I sell panties, women's panties, yes. The company is called Enclosed, theenclosed.com, and I'm up here because I am desperately hiring. We went into beta 3 months ago and are kicking ass, so I'm hiring anyone with a pulse, and I'm specifically looking for PR, if anyone knows of a really rock star PR person with men's lifestyle, meaning straight men who buy panties for their wives and girlfriends. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
It's tough to follow the panties. I'm John. My company, Whitestone Works, we do branded merchandise. We could do some really cool stuff. If any of you guys find me, we're doing a 20% off for the code SFNewTech. So we're hooking it up. Come find me. We'll make some cool stuff for you. Thanks.
Nice. Code SFNewTech. I like it. Florian.
Hello, everybody. I'm from Switzerland, and I just want to talk to you about a small project I have, which is called Pimp My Wall. So basically, we had a music festival back in Switzerland where I live, and it happened close to a very nice building with lots of windows. And we basically turned the entire building into a giant interactive screen on which anyone can draw on with their smartphone. And so right now, I want to make a startup out of this, and I'm still looking for people who are interested in this and who can maybe help me out. And that's it. Pimp my wall. Pimp my wall. Exactly.
Pimp my wall. Nice.
Hello, my name is Linda Richardson. I'm the president of Remotely Incorporated, and I am the founder of School of First Thought. You must think it to be, you must think it to become it. I have created a few contests, and I'm in the process of trying to jumpstart therapeutic educational video games based on this new form of therapy that I created. So I am looking for game developers and animators. I think I have a couple of venture capital companies who might be interested in me, but I can't go anywhere without any text. So if you know of anyone, please shoot me an email at studying@School of First Thought. I appreciate it.
Say it again real quick. What's the email, Linda?
studying@schooloffirstthought.com.
You guys got that? Thank you, Linda.
Evening, lucky last. My name is Nick Muldoon. I'm an Aussie in San Francisco, and I'm here representing for Practice Ignition. Practice Ignition is an Australian startup in the fintech space, and they're taking 1% of a $400 billion market, which is the accounting services industry. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'd love to put you in touch with the founder of Practice Ignition, or you can check out practiceignition.com. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, cool. That's our 60 seconds pass. Let's move on. All right, so Makito is dead tired. He went through TC Disrupt, and he's totally distraught, and this is going to bring him back to life. And this is what, he's good. He's way good.
Tired.
No, you don't. This is PandaDoc, and hopefully it'll help you out. Ready to roll?
Hi, SF New Tech. I got some tech to launch tonight. We're launching PandaDoc, a beta version of a service that will allow you to, I'm sorry, I got sound here. Yeah, so we have a web service that will allow you to upload documents, choose who you want to send those documents to, and get those documents signed online fast and easy. Recipients of those documents will be able to leave real-time annotations, comment on those documents, and collaborate with you. So the process becomes seamless, easy, and very, very simple. There is a handful of applications out there that provide you with the electronic signing functionality. We focus on user experience of the product and of making the product very extensible, flexible, and easy to integrate. Because if you think about signing and processing documents, this is a business process that starts somewhere else, in a CRM, in an accounting system, and those are the ones we integrate with. So today we're looking for SaaS apps that you think would benefit from document processing functionality added to them. And we're also hiring. If you're an expert in inbound marketing, or if you've done inbound sales, please come talk to me. Yeah, PandaDoc helps to create, send, and receive and sign electronic documents. That simple.
Wow, man, that was a record. Caught me off guard. Okay, Janet.
Hey. So Makita, why shouldn't I just keep using Adobe? Why should I use you guys?
Like I said, we're focusing first of all on user experience, and secondly, we've built the product on top of the API that allows us to quickly and easily integrate PandaDoc with a gazillion of CRM systems, accounting systems, a bunch of niche applications. That's our go-to-market strategy. We're going to integrate with product. We're going to integrate the product with as many SaaS or mobile apps as possible. We built it mobile first. Mobile SDK is coming on its way. And, you know, as I said, if you think about signing documents, annotating documents, negotiating them, and working with them, this is the process that starts usually somewhere else. If that's in sales, it starts in your CRM. If it is in accounting, then it starts in your accounting management system. So what we have is a button that we can embed in other products. And once you hit that button, the information from those products would be ported to PandaDoc. Or we even are able to embed parts of our product in other applications.
Hi, quick question for you. John Adams, Twitter Security. I noticed that your site doesn't run HTTPS, and you do document signing. So could you elaborate on how you enable secure document signing with encryption, and what algorithms or what technologies you're using to ensure that the signature is actually valid and non-reputable?
So we're launching a beta tonight. So we didn't put the site under SSL, but that's eventually going to happen.
Okay, but you would agree that you should build security in from the ground up, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. I would love to elaborate on that. If you, like, what we plan to add to the application are additional apps that you can use when you send documents and when you create them. One of those apps could be a two-way authentication. So if authentication by email is not good enough for some security reasons, what you can do, you can authenticate guys that sign the document over their phone, so that basically we would authenticate them by email, and on top of that, we would automatically send a PIN code to their phone number, and they would be able to confirm that they are who they are, you know, using those two methods, email and phone.
Looks like we're out of time. PandaDoc, everybody. I hope you guys knock it out of the park. Good stuff. Get some rest. And no, next thing, come to us before TechCrunch. Seriously. Okay, our last demo tonight is Guy from Totango. And what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not French. I got to stop the French stuff. So it's Guy from Totango, and he's the CEO. It's Guy Nurpast. And after Guy's presentation, we'll do the SFNT Invest stuff. But pay attention. Yeah, you can use it here. And whenever you're ready, we'll start the clock.
I have to stand here? Yeah, okay, cool. No. All right, perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm the last one for tonight, so I'll try to do this quickly, although I can't compete with my predecessor, so I'll try to do my best. So, my name is Guy Nurpast. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Totango. 3 years ago, when I started the company together with my co-founder, we started it based on a very simple premise. When businesses move to the cloud, 95% of their communication with their customers takes place within their application. The application becomes the core of customer data, and this data drives every aspect of cloud software business. So when I say every aspect of cloud software business, I'm talking about free to paid conversion, trial conversion, user onboarding, customer success management, renewals, upsells, churn, and growth. And what we've built into Totango is a technology that takes the mountains of usage data, transform that into actionable insights that drive business processes that drive revenue for cloud software businesses. So I can give you a quick view of how it looks, and we can talk later. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's share the screen. We're good. Cool. All right. So let's start looking at that from the consumer use case, how people take advantage of the information that Totango delivers. What we're seeing right now is, think about customer success team. Many SaaS companies these days have customer success team. And the objective of the customer success team is to make sure that customers see value from the product on an ongoing basis. Otherwise, they'll cancel, not renew their project. So what we basically do is we create a customer scorecard that make it very easy for the customer success team to consume data on their customers. So they know how many customers are at good shape, how many customers are okay, and how many customers are at poor shape. If we look at another use case, let's talk about the renewal use case. So sales renewal teams in many companies are focused on making sure that customers that are up to renew in the next 60 days have a clear information of who's about to renew and what's going to be the status. Some of them are slam dunk and safe bets, while others are at risk. The way we do that, as I mentioned before, we capture usage data, we cross-correlate that with other information that exists within the company, and we transform that into very easy to understand information for teams. Another use case that comes from Totango information, let's talk about the release cycles and product launches. Everyone is talking about continuous deployment and continuous delivery of products. Are the features that we are creating actually making impact for our customers? Totango allows data-driven product managers to actually see the impact and adoption of their features. In this example, we're seeing, that's a demo of a project management software that Totango is built on. We can see that the launch of the mobile version is picking up pretty well, though we had some bumps in the beginning. It's the green line. And one last use case that I want to mention, let's talk about trial performance management. So in trial, we're talking about, when you think about free trial, you talk about two types of communities, two segments. One is the people that are in the business of buying. They will buy either from you or from your competitors. And there are people that are just kicking tires. The ability to focus the sales and marketing team on people that are actually in the process of buying and help them evaluate your product correctly increases the chances of success. We have great examples. Let me, wow, we have no time. So let me just kind of finalize with two sentences. Sneak peek behind under the hood. Totango capture usage data in real time. This is what you see right here. And we build account and user profiles that capture all of this information that later on is being used to segment and drive business decisions. For example, we see ideas here like health score and engagement score, number of active users, all sorts of metrics that later on being used to deliver more value. As a final sentence, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit out of time, Totango already have more than 100 paying customers, companies like Zendesk, Optimizely, HP, and CloudBees. We've recently signed a strategic partnership with Jive, and now Jive ships Totango as part of their product to show their customers how they're using Jive and how much value they're seeing. And what we've solved is really difficult, really hard problem to solve that many SaaS companies build for themselves. And we believe that it's the next big thing in the cloud. It's the missing layer in the cloud software stack. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go into questions, but first, did anybody lose a key? We have a key. We found a key. Key to your heart? It's a PGO key. I don't know who drives a PGO. Oh, it's your key.
So that counts, this question? Who has a key? Or
No. We'll do the question.
Okay.
So in order to display those charts, what kind of information that Totango requires? Only their Twitter account or others?
Yeah, so the information that seeds Totango into driving those insights and later actions, the main information set is usage data. Think about it like Google Analytics for applications. That's kind of the basis of it. It could be from the front end, JavaScript, or back end or mobile APIs. And then we cross-correlate that with other data within the company that can reside in CRMs, billing systems, marketing automation software. We have many integration that we take this information in. We also seed information out into the CRMs, marketing automations, and so forth to take advantage of this information to automate business processes.
Is this software that you have that your customers have to build into their software and deploy with their software, or is this data that they send to your software as a service site?
So we are a software as a service solution. So our customers put the JavaScript connectors as part of their application, basically telling us when people are making actions on the app in real time, and that's all there's to it to integrate in the application with Totango. Usually it takes, depends on the quality of the developers. We actually have a raffle and challenges for developers, and quick ones get some things from us. But yeah, usually it's an hour, 2 hours to complete integration with Totango.
How would you describe the difference between you and general business BI software?
Yeah, so I can expand the question. The difference between what we do and web analytics, the difference between what we do and between BI, the difference between what we do in CRMs. We're basically trying to tie all that together. Once we believe that the main customer data set is within the application, we collect this data, we manage the data, we create the insights which are very specific for the business use case, and we drive the actions, which you don't have in most cases in BI, into the hands of the teams that need to take the action or automating all the way through to the customer, to the end user.
Hi there.
Hi.
I am very impressed with your content marketing. Can you elaborate on how you achieve what you achieve?
Thank you very much. I guess one of the things when we started Totango, the key challenge that we have in marketing is educating this new approach towards data-driven organization in SaaS. So our content marketing is all about creating engagement, discussion, awareness around what we do. We've also started, we've created the first customer success event during March in San Francisco, and we're driving a lot of kind of general purpose content in this area to drive engagement. Another topic that we can talk about is how we do that, and we figure that the lady before talked about how emails should look like. We figured that emails should be human and without a lot of kind of marketing fluff and right to the point and colloquial phrasing, so people can actually read that. We do a lot of A/B tests on emails and subjects and call to action and all that. Our email open rates is around 40%, so we've done good on that.
guy. We've got 9 seconds. Very well. Totango. Very nice. Good job. Thank you. Okay, so before you all like split, like a lot of people have, they must have better things to do. Let's really do this SFNT Invest thing. So who here in the room actually participated? Yeah? Any problems you encountered along the way? Tell us later. So what we're going to do is we're going to broadcast up. This is like the new way to vote for your favorite startup on SF New Tech. And it looks like Scoop.it is going to go home with $6.32 million tonight. But the best news is that right now, the top investors for each company are given an opportunity to actually meet up with the CEO. So those of you guys who I just handed a placard, a little sign, hold it up high. That's where you can be found. Maybe find a corner of the room, and what we're going to do now is switch it over to show who voted for who, so long as it's cool with you. We never asked you, but fuck it.
So yeah, actually we want to give the opportunity to innovators to get related with these demos and startups that they like the most. So actually now we are offering you the opportunity to meet with the founders of these companies for 1 minute. And this is running up to now. You can ask answers, and it will last only 1 minute. Of course, if you didn't submit your vote, it's now time to do it because the vote is almost over. Thank you.
Okay, and then after that 1 minute meeting, we'll see you at the bar, and then we're going to go dancing. Right on. So hold your signs up high, guys.
Yeah. So now, for the people that invested in the different companies, you are just part of the board of those companies now, so you can reach the founder of the company and do a little board meeting for 1 minute, just to have some fun and get related.
So we're going to envision what 1 minute feels like. Maybe do it this way. Okay, so hold your signs up high. Go visit the company that you voted the most for and tell them why. And you presenters out there, maybe you can tap these folks for something that you need. Maybe you need them to test your iPad app. Maybe you want them to plug in and log into your site. So hold your signs up high. There you go. So who's voting for Panda tonight? And after the 1 minute, which is right about now, we're going to call it quits. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We've got Korean-style tech lined up for you all on the 25th. You're going to hear more about that tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. And then on the 16th of October, we're going to do it all again. So stay tuned. Big thanks to our media ninja, Greg. Man in everything tonight. He's the man, the master. Thank you so much. Chris is on sound. Jimmy's on video. Manuel's on tech. And I'm just the class clown trying to pull it all together. In about 30 seconds, Chris, can we cue some music? Maybe something with a beat. This is an experiment, and I hope you all are participating in it. We're going to take it to the next level next time around. This is 1 minute board meetings, the first ever at SF New Tech. Thank you for sticking around, guys. Thanks for coming down. You all rock. Thank you. I love you. Let's go home together.